Equal justice under law. It's a bedrock principle of our American democracy. But every day in the nation's capital, thousands of people are denied equal access to justice, simply because they cannot afford a lawyer. For more than 40 years, the DC Bar Pro Bono Center has mobilized volunteer lawyers to deliver legal information, advice, and representation where and when it's needed most. Together, we help people who have been left out to understand the law, assert their rights, and seek justice in court. In neighborhoods that have been left behind, we strengthen nonprofit organizations and small businesses that are vital to the economic life of their communities. We stand with people to protect and preserve what matters most: their families, their homes, their futures. Equal access to justice transforms lives. Join us.
Good evening. I'm Becky Troth. On behalf of our Board of Directors, the Pro Bono Committee, our staff, and especially our clients, thank you for joining us. Every year at this event, we honor our incoming bar president and thank our generous donors and devoted volunteers. Holding this event again virtually recognizes that we are not back to normal. The pandemic's devastating effects will be felt far into the future and will continue to hit our clients particularly hard. With your financial and volunteer support, the Pro Bono Center remains the largest provider of pro bono legal services in the district. We served more than 20,000 individuals, families, nonprofits, and small businesses throughout the pandemic year. Last year, I praised our outstanding staff for their ability to adapt. In the intervening year, their commitment to reaching the people and organizations needing our help has been truly inspirational. We added services so that more people with daunting legal problems could talk to a lawyer. Tonight, we welcome our next president, Chad Sarchio. But first, I would like to honor the person who led us this past year, our outgoing president, Geoffrey Klineberg. Jeff's efforts have been heroic. He worked tirelessly to understand every aspect of our work, allowing him to make incredibly wise and thoughtful decisions. Working with you, Jeff, has been a great privilege. Please welcome Geoffrey Klineberg.
Thank you, Becky, for that generous introduction. During the past year, the pandemic made plain the inequities that many of our neighbors experience daily, from access to housing, health care, safe, stable employment, and to equal justice under law. I'm proud of all the Pro Bono Center has accomplished during these unprecedented times to bridge the access to justice gap. Through 2 new legal assistance networks, we're helping parents and caregivers protect their children and families avoid homelessness. We relaunched our legal advice clinics to ensure that our neighbors would continue to receive the civil legal help they need remotely. And we've supported more than 3,000 nonprofits and small businesses by giving them legal support to survive the pandemic. I'm also proud to be part of an extraordinary community of attorneys who volunteer and donate to support our neighbors in need. Together, we have raised more than $950,000 to help the Pro Bono Center continue serving the community. So thank you for your generous support. Now, I'd like to show you the power of your support through our volunteers, staff, and 2 stories of the Pro Bono Center's clients, a nonprofit enriching the lives of young people in the district through music and community, and a father who sought help through our new Family Law Assistance Network. Take a look.
Every day in the district, thousands of people rely on nonprofit organizations for food, shelter, medical care, job training, and more. The DC Bar Pro Bono Center supports these community-based organizations with ongoing legal representation, brief advice, and legal training for nonprofit directors and staff. We are the only organization that provides these legal services in the region. Nonprofits employ more than 25% of all DC residents, making the sector itself an important economic engine for our city. Our programs help both for and nonprofit entities keep their doors open by assisting with employment law matters, contract and commercial lease negotiations, corporate governance, and more.
Girls Rock DC was founded in 2007 by a group of women and non-binary musicians in the city who noticed that there was a lack of representation and opportunity for girls and queer youth. Girls Rock DC's programs are centered around the community and the needs of the community. So our youth learn not just how to play instruments and form bands together, but they learn to care for their communities. They learn to engage with social issues that matter to them. One of the most important things to know about Girls Rock is that it's not just about rock and it's not just about girls. It's about using the power of music to influence social change.
Because of the resources and support we've received from the DC Bar Pro Bono Center, Girls Rock DC is a more sustainable organization. We have the foundation that we need to grow our organization and serve even more young folks in DC. And having access to this free knowledge in these clinics was really helpful to provide us with the kind of information that the organization needed to make sure that we have this foundational and supportive content. I have participated in what feels like all of the different nonprofit legal clinics that the Pro Bono Center has offered, because we want to be able to spend our money on our young people. We want to be able to spend our money on programs. And having access to resources that are free through the Pro Bono Center is an incredible boon to our organization, because it means that we can get the kind of support and knowledge that we need, and we can still spend our money on what's important.
Receiving pro bono counsel means that organizations can devote more of their resources to doing what they do best, serving their clients and the community. The Pro Bono Center is proud to help vital nonprofits like Girls Rock DC.
DC residents who cannot afford a lawyer often struggle to find legal help in their family law matters. One of the Family Law Assistance Network's first clients was a father whose children had been involved in a serious accident and their mother was no longer able to care for them. Although the father had a joint custody order for his older child, he needed a custody order for his youngest child. To complicate matters further, an extended family member took both children to Virginia and refused to return them. This father was fighting an uphill battle against tremendous odds. As soon as our client called our Family Law Assistance Network, we jumped into action. Our staff attorney, Janadine Nanini, quickly digested the facts and legal considerations. Within 20 minutes, she filed 2 emergency motions for custody, requested a remote emergency hearing, and argued his case before the judge. Our client immediately received a court order granting him emergency custody of both of his children.
The first time I spoke with my client, he was very distraught. He was upset, frustrated. I could tell he was very much heartbroken as well, and somewhat defeated, honestly, because I think the system had continued to create barriers for him, and all he wanted was to get his children back. The most important thing to my client was simple. It was his kids. He wanted his kids in his home, and he wanted to keep his family together. In addition to getting his children back, I think he really gained some restored faith that the system can work, and it can work with the right advocacy and the right tools.
While our client's immediate crisis was resolved, he faced a continuing legal battle. His case involved several jurisdictions, and he needed ongoing representation. Through our Advocacy and Justice Clinic, we placed his case with a team of 2 pro bono lawyers from the federal government pro bono program and recruited a leading family law attorney to mentor and support them.
I love being a mentor. The people at the Pro Bono Clinic will probably tell you that I over-volunteer to be a mentor because I really get tremendous satisfaction working with volunteer attorneys from the federal government, from private firms who want to make a difference in the lives of these families in the District of Columbia that can't afford representation. All the lawyers involved in this case, including Carrie, Yvette, and Jenadine, made an enormous difference in the lives not only of the client and the kids, but in the lives of the family. They made the kind of contribution that, not all of us have the opportunity to make to other families. They demonstrated the kind of commitment that you really want volunteer attorneys to have, the kind of persistence, the kind of stick-to-itiveness that you want volunteer attorneys to have when they are working in this area that is so emotional and that has so much meaning for families, to allow them to keep their kids safe, to allow the families to move ahead. There's no greater sense of satisfaction I can imagine having.
The services my client received completely changed the outcome for his family. If he was not able to get the services from start to finish that he received in his case, his kids might not be with him today. And now, I just saw them a few weeks ago, he's with his kids and their family, and they're happy, and they're together, and they're able to support each other as their life continues and they overcome the trauma they experienced.
This family is just one of the more than 800 the Family Law Assistance Network helped in its first year. The Pro Bono Center is proud to be an important part of ensuring that all DC families have equal access to justice.
Wasn't that inspiring? These are just two stories among thousands of people and organizations who turned to the Pro Bono Center to help each year. Victories like these are only possible with your support, so thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce Chad Sarchio, who will be sworn in as president of the Bar and the Pro Bono Center later tonight. He began his legal career in the U.S. Army as a member of the Judge Advocate General's Corps. He has also served as a federal prosecutor, a law professor, a military judge, and as an associate chief counsel with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, where he currently serves as chief of staff to the acting administrator. In the year ahead, we will face more challenges, but with Chad at the helm of the Bar and of the Pro Bono Center, I know we'll be in great hands. Please welcome Chad Sarchio.
Thank you, Jeff, for your steady and wise leadership over the past year. Thanks also to the members of our Development Committee for their tireless fundraising on behalf of the Pro Bono Center. I'm especially grateful to our co-chairs, my good friend and former president, Esther Lim, and my amazing wife, Christina Sarchio. I'm honored to lead the Bar and Pro Bono Center and humbled by the support you've mustered. In our profession, no matter how you practice or how well you do, a law license is a tremendous responsibility. As lawyers, we govern ourselves through a code of ethics, which includes a responsibility to serve others. As we near the end of the health emergency, we cannot become complacent. When the moratoria on evictions and debt collections are lifted, thousands more district residents will turn to the Pro Bono Center and its partners for help. The center has prepared for the coming storm, launching new services, forging new ways to serve clients, and training more volunteers than ever. But it needs our continued support to ensure that our neighbors get the help they need, where and when they need it most. If there was ever a time for you to lend such support by giving more of your talent or your treasure, this is it. Right now, lives, businesses, homes, and families are at stake. As lawyers and bar members, we can prevent suffering and transform lives for the better. It's a commitment I will take seriously as bar president, and I implore you to join me. Together, we can do this. Now, please stay tuned for the DC Bar's Celebration of Leadership, which will begin in just a few minutes. And as always, stay safe.